Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome into the AfterBuzz TV after show for Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We are talking Moons Over Montana tonight, Sunday night, here on AfterBuzz TV. Quick reminder for you guys before we get started, if you haven't already, hit subscribe on iTunes and or YouTube. We are live streaming this on YouTube, so if you are watching along on the live stream, you can comment, you can talk to us, you can tweet us. I'm Bobby DeMuro, that is Francesca Dugan, Nick Grava. We are all on Twitter at Bobby DeMuro, at XOXOCESCA, and at Nicholas Grava?
Yeah.
Okay, your full name? There we go. Perfect.
You can get XOXOC, whatever.
Well, I know hers because we tweet all the time and you're new, so just, you know.
I'm new.
You guys, I'm watching us live.
That's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it's
but if you guys want to, you can tweet us, you can comment in YouTube. Obviously, we love hearing your comments. We got some great comments last week. So last week, we did the About Bruce parts 1 and 2. We had a serious show. We talked about a lot of serious stuff. We are going to follow up last week's serious show with stupid fucking Jonathan. I think I'm in a bad mood tonight. Every night that Jonathan is on a Kardashian episode, I swear to God,
I'm not going to disagree with you. I really, I think that's why they did it. I think they knew that we had a serious, 2-part series beforehand, and now they're like, we're going to drop in Jonathan and waste your time.
And Malika, furthermore, Malika is becoming as taxing as Jonathan is. Not that bad, but close.
I don't mind Malika. But okay, when Jonathan was in the ski store and he's like, Malika, but why are you taking so long? He tried to say it 3 times. I'm like, homie, we get it. The cameras didn't catch it the first time. Slow down. It doesn't matter. That's literally what it was.
He is, to me, you have no room to judge anybody else. Either one of them. When you are a hanger-on. Both of them are hangers-on. And they are.
He's hanger-on with the more famous friend, as
they're
he
both
says.
hangers-on. I mean, I'm not saying that makes them bad people. They're hangers-on to this family. They are. They are. Because if you were Kim's friend, if you were Kim or Khloe's true friend from years back, blah, 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 I don't really think you'd do the show if you were like, this is your show, this is your thing, I don't need to be involved, I'm your friend, I'm secure in our friendship, we've been friends for decades, whatever. When you do the show and you make that jump as a friend, it says something specific about your goals with the friendship. And your goals with the friendship are to squeeze the life out of it for as much as you can get. And we know Jonathan's done that already.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan.
I mean, isn't Malika getting her own spin-off with the...
Shut the front door.
I thought she was too.
With the
Dash Girls. Yeah, she's in the Dash Girls show.
Right.
They're going to milk it for what they can.
And I feel like she had something else. I don't know as much about her career. I mean, that's the other thing. Is this a career?
Well,
isn't she Khloe's assistant?
Well, that's like what she came in as, or
that's what it is.
Yeah, and then of course they've made out.
Oh yeah, that was brought up in this episode. Why don't you go make out again? Yeah,
which is whatever. Look,
awkward.
The best line of the show.
What?
Where is it? Khloe to Kim. He sits in the corner and juggles for you until you laugh. About Jonathan.
Yeah,
that's 100% correct.
I have nothing good to say about him.
I don't either. There's nothing good to say about him. And this episode is back to old Kardashians. Remember last week we were so supportive of not just Bruce's story, but the direction this show was going in, some of the serious stuff. They took it seriously. It was beautiful. It was a 2-part thing. It was awesome. Obviously, you're not going to get that storyline every week, and you shouldn't. That would get old after a while. Right. You need stupid stuff. But Stupid and Jonathan are 2 different levels. And when you combine this Jonathan, Malika, the worst superficial of superficial thing, and then have tried to make a Kim and Khloe fight out of it, the biggest non-story we've had in 3 weeks.
I think the worst part about Jonathan being on the show this time was the conversation he had with Kim, because it felt so forced and awkward.
Mm-hmm. When he walked into the bedroom and was like, all these things happening in New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
What should I do?
So, homie,
talk about yourself. Live your own life. How about you just start doing that? I don't know. That's just for starters. Sorry, I don't know what to say except that's it.
I dislike this guy so much, and it's so blatant, and we all have career goals and aspirations, and we all, if we got around, a famous situation or whatever, I'm sure everybody at home and everyone else would have been, you know what, how can we use this to our advantage? I get it, but there's something so snaky about Jonathan specifically, and there always has been, and it's crazy to me that Kim, who is so professional and rises above any scandals and has maintained and built this incredible thing that she's built, would keep somebody like him around.
You know the episode when she sorry, I just interrupted you.
almost coughed, that's all.
When she threw her cell phone at him when he took her to the Jersey Shore, that was one of my until the tie it up in a bow ending. But I was so happy about that. I was like, maybe finally she sees him for what he is.
It doesn't even seem like she likes him. I can understand Malika and Chloe's closeness. I get that relationship. I can feel that closeness a little bit. I don't get it with Jonathan and Kim. It seems forced, and neither one of them wants to hang out with each other. It's just, I don't understand it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this doesn't fit at all.
Well, I think people out there would be like, they're both fake, so they
are.
That could be it.
Yeah,
and maybe he's just like that, and maybe she doesn't have a lot of people besides her family, so maybe he's just one of those people she's stuck with because he kind of is known her from the beginning, so maybe, I don't know. Next, off of Jonathan, I can't deal with
I'm
it.
surprised. I'm surprised that Kanye hasn't put the kibosh on that. Only because I would expect Jonathan to freak him out too, and be like, dude,
I bet he's not allowed around when Kanye's there.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with
not
this
in
guy.
the house during certain. I would 100% bet that Kanye has some limitations.
I'm not trying to deal with this guy. He just nothing about Jonathan. If he was here, if he was sitting on this couch, I say the same damn thing to his face, and he can walk out on us.
This is my thing. Here's my thing. I'm not saying this dude's a bad person. Well, kind of am, but no, I'm not saying he's a bad person in general. But in the show, what I see from him, the scenes, it's unnecessary. And when I'm watching the show, I'm not watching for Jonathan. That's what my negativity comes from.
He should not be on this show, period, point blank. Don't bring him back.
There should be a quote. How many Jonathan scenes can we have? And they should keep it to a minimum.
I'm done with this guy. Minimum is 0. I'm done. Maximum really is 0. I'm done with this fucking guy.
Wait, do they agree? Do you guys agree? Where does it? I want to know where
that's
the audience
actually a good
stands.
thing. I was thinking about doing that earlier. So I think they stand the same way because everywhere I see Jonathan listed on entertainment sites and all this stuff, everybody reacts to him negatively.
Okay, so tweet at us and tell us if you agree or not.
Open that up if you're tweeting, if you're commenting right now on YouTube on the live stream, or later if you're watching or whatever. Comment about Jonathan. That'll be the question of the show.
Jonathan irks me too, from Kay Bassey.
There we go.
Okay, so there's one.
Good.
All right.
Then that's all I need to keep going.
Now we can just shit on him the rest of the show. That's a good thing. Keep commenting. Tell us what you think about Jonathan. If you like him, whatever. Simple question.
Yeah.
I think we're all pretty uniform in how we feel about him.
We're actually me and Nick are very uniform right
this
now.
is our uniform of we don't like Jonathan uniforms. So.
Related question to Jonathan: who wins that argument, Team Kim or Team Chloe? Because
that argument at the pool table.
The one about hanger. Neither one has room to talk. They're both stupid.
I think they're both. I think everyone's aware that. When you're at that level, it's hard, I think, to have anyone not feel that way or question someone's intention. So I think they're aware of that, and I think it's a valid point. Is he a cooler hanger-oner because Kim is more Oh, please. Come on.
I also think that when you drop the more famous card, you automatically lose. Here's the thing about fame. It seems to me, having none of it, here's the thing about fame.
Bob, you're famous.
No, I'm not. If you take it tongue-in-cheek and you understand how stupid the entertainment industry really is, let's be honest, or sports or music or whatever you're doing, really it's all diversions, let's be honest. If you take it tongue-in-cheek with your fame and you joke around about your own fame, like Chloe does. Chloe jokes around about stuff, she's more personable. Those people do better. When you're dead serious about your fame, like Kim, you come across as an asshole. You can't not.
Well, we all know I love Kim. On that topic, the very opening scene when they were saying, you guys should start a girl band, Kendall was like, no one would really take us seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's kind of...
And that's a likable trait. When you understand exactly where you fit in, and that doesn't mean you self-deprecate all the time, but you got to understand how people look at you, especially in a family like this. Kim's sitting here, and I'm looking at her face during this conversation when they're talking about fame and stuff. And maybe I'm putting motives onto her. I'm sure I am.
Probably so.
But I'm looking at her face and I'm like, this girl, she takes it so seriously.
Yeah.
Kanye was a purposeful thing, love aside. Like, everything's a brand, everything is fame, everything is your Q score, whatever you want to say. And Chloe's here kind of like, who gives a fuck? Like,
Right.
are you serious right now? You know?
I also feel like in another scale, in living in Hollywood, living in LA, in the entertainment business, the people that don't seem to have as much real fame or whatever it is seem to put, like, the B-listers, if you will. They seem to really up the fame thing. And then the real people try to live their lives almost avoiding it, doing the work they do, and avoiding everything else. So I think that's an interesting comparison.
The less famous you are, the more of an asshole you are.
Yeah.
That is almost an axiom to the greatest degree, you know?
I feel like for the Kardashians, though, I mean, we talk about this all the time, like, social media is a huge part in how big they are, and I think they're a little bit different than the average quote-unquote famous person. You know what I mean? So, like...
In what way?
Like, they're very public. We know everything about them, even though we don't want to know everything about them. And so that makes them and their fame, like, different.
Do you think it makes it more sincere? Is that what you're saying?
I think either or, but it's just that, you know, like we're seeing more famous people or people that are really famous and just kind of back off.
Right.
They can't really kind of back off because that's what helped them get them to where they are.
That's a good point.
The fame, to take that one step further, the fame that they have is their real lives.
Right.
That's the reality star thing. They're not, a famous character on TV, so, we recognize this guy, we recognize, what's his name, David Schwimmer, because of what he did for Ross on Friends. Oh, David Schwimmer, whatever the case is.
Oh, David Schwimmer.
Whatever the case is, the Kardashians are the Kardashians, and so them in real life and them in famous life is the same thing. And I think the longer you live in that thing, the longer you mold them together.
Because where do you separate? When are you not that public image, and when are you?
And then that becomes your identity. In a weird way, it's like anybody on the internet. Like your internet identity and your real life identity were kind of different, but now look at the way that social media is blown up. They're starting to intertwine. How seriously do you take yourself online versus off?
Yeah.
And you start taking this stuff probably a little too seriously. We all have those moments, but I really see Kim having more of those moments than a Chloe, to give you the two broad examples, the two differences there. And I'm looking at Kim and I'm like, dude, you're famous for nothing. You're gorgeous, you've done all this stuff, you work very hard, but at the base level, you're famous for a sex tape. You have to take that tongue-in-cheek and you got to have fun with it, because if you don't, you're an asshole.
No, she's famous because we watch her.
But no. I'm saying the
sex tape
impetus.
putting her on the
sex
map,
tape
you're
put her on.
saying.
Nothing put her on the map. Look at the show today. She didn't do anything, And I'm not criticizing because we do watch her. I'm just
skied,
saying.
Okay, Bobby.
God.
I was actually really taken aback at the skill level of all of them going down the mountain. I was pretty proud.
You got to remember the lifestyle. But I was Kylie
Bruce.
especially.
Yeah.
Kylie especially.
Pops.
Kendall is someone who I think takes the fame, and she is successful in her modeling career, and I think she is very tongue-in-cheek, and she is seems down to earth and real to some point with that stuff, and I think similar to Chloe
And Scott. Scott for sure.
You're
the
right.
whole thing's a joke to Scott.
Yeah.
Those are the people I think if we took a poll of everyone out there, rank your favorite Kardashians, 1 to whatever, top to bottom, I think people like Scott, Chloe, Kendall are going to sit at the top.
Yeah.
And people like Kim, surprisingly, are going to sit near the bottom. Your favorite aside.
she is your favorite. I didn't even know that.
I don't have a favorite. I like them all. I just think Kim is ridiculously gorgeous. Even though she has had work done, I still think she's
no one's debating that. I would agree with you on that.
They're all just gorgeous, but I think it's because everyone loves to hate her. It makes me want to be in her corner more.
I would argue that everyone loves to hate her because she's giving reasons to. You
think
she's
so?
giving you reasons to do so because she's not in on the joke. That's a big thing.
I guess
Chloe's
people
in on the
still
joke.
hate Chloe. People still give a lot of hate to them.
Everyone.
They hate the family,
Everyone hates everyone.
the family's aware that the hate is also what propels them forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As long as they're talking.
Haters gonna hate.
Ain't
Sorry.
is gonna ain't.
If there's one life goal that I have in the
What
next
is it?
year,
Is to have haters?
Have a brand.
No.
To have a brand.
It's to get rid of two words. One is brand, and the other is haters. I'm so sick of people saying
I
the word
hate that
haters.
word.
It's the default.
Actually.
It's the default for anybody, meaning you can't constructively criticize or critique in any way because you're a hater. Shut up. I'm so sick of that word. You're not a hater. A hater would say, oh, Kim looked fat in that episode. That's a hater. That's not a fair critique. It's not a constructive critique. And she didn't. A constructive critique is what we're doing right now about fame and what we've seen, you know.
So you're saying that some people could call us haters when we're just giving quality critique on,
I don't know. I don't know if it's quality, but I think there's a difference between putting yourself out there.
We got watchers, it's quality.
Exactly, and I think there's a difference between putting yourself out there and being thoughtful and the people who are just mindless, you know.
I agree. Trolling.
Oh, Kim, you're terrible, you know. If you're going to say you're terrible, give reasons why.
Right. Yeah.
Give evidence.
I'm trying to see if more people are commenting.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, we got the Jonathan question up there, so we want to hear from you guys. Comment on YouTube or on Twitter. Okay. Let's move on because I agree with you guys. I'm done with Jonathan. And if we never ever saw him again, I would not miss him for half a second.
Me neither.
Okay. Kylie and Chloe. Let's talk about skiing skills. I was really impressed with them too.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
The hella drop thing they were going to do. First of all, I have to say, did you think when they got in the helicopter, I A, didn't think it was going to happen, but B, I thought they were jumping out that hella dropping.
I thought hella skiing was the helicopter comes to like the cliff and you jump out.
That's what I thought too. Maybe
or else it's just a bougie way to get to the top. Just take the gun or whatever the thing is.
I don't mean to be I don't mean to be a helicopter hater, but you know.
Hella hater.
Oh man.
I totally agree with you. I was impressed with Kylie's snowboarding skills.
Yeah.
She was good.
She like hovered.
She's good.
That's how good she
Snowboarding is tough, and I watched that, and I said, I can't imagine out of their busy lives they do it too often. So I really was actually proud of all of them across the board.
Yeah, they were.
I had a
good.
really cheesy joke.
What was it?
They were like, we've never been to Montana. And I was like, Chloe, you've been to French Montana.
Oh.
I giggled in the episode. I actually told her to say it on air. I don't know if that was a good choice now.
Well, there we go. I'm surprised we didn't have a crazy sound bite for you, like a womp womp. Alexis is like looking frantically for one right now.
Well, I'm definitely not a comedian. So.
Okay, so the serious side of the Kylie adrenaline junkie thing, I guess, is the father figure thing. Chloe feels like she has to fill in, and this is the Chloe we've seen a lot before. Like Chloe is everything to everybody.
Yeah.
And she is this to Kylie today.
Rescuer.
Yeah, she's a rescuer and is I don't know what you would call it, like a helper. And she always wants to be there, and she's a people pleaser, right? And it's good that she did that, but it's also good that Kylie probably needs to understand that, like, you need your dad to do that. Even if he doesn't look like your dad, it's the same relationship in a way. You got to have.
Well, I hope Bruce, as her, still does a lot of that.
And his psychology is not going to change. I think he'll still definitely be as athletic. Why wouldn't he? Yeah.
I think also, my thing with this is she sometimes I would feel, I know what she's going through is really tough, and just the constant separation from the family, I guess. And I understand the pressure they're putting on her, whether trying to get her to go to therapy and talk to somebody, which is tough when you know someone may benefit from it, but they're closed, what is the common ground?
Yeah.
But some of it I feel was like attention grabbing, I need to go to the top, I don't want to go to anyone else, now let's do the helicopter. It seemed a little bit, that this isn't the trip for that, maybe. It seems just touch and sense and go with everyone that you're with.
You have to remember she's the youngest.
Exactly.
That is true. I always think she's older than she really is. What is she, 17?
Yeah.
She just turned 8 or something. But she's the youngest, and when you're around people that are older than you all the time, plus in the spotlight, you kind of have to grow up faster than the average Joe. So I think it's definitely gonna be more difficult for her because she's already kind of forced to grow up, but still has her.
She's still finding her own identity, and yet she's being forced to have an identity. So that is pretty tough.
And you have to remember, with her at her age, her peers, like for us, if at our age, in mid-20s, we'll say,
early 20s.
I'm gonna say early. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, early 30s. At our age, when if one of us had a father going through something like that, we're all mature enough, and most people our age are mature enough to be like, "Hey, man, totally cool.
Gotcha.
Whatever you need, But at 17,
she's still dealing with the immaturity.
I think she's probably. I would imagine she's probably dealing with a lot of people, whether they're saying it to her or behind her back, and she's still catching flack in some way of people who are a little unsure about it.
I'm sure of that, but not even now. Think about social media. She probably gets so many, as much positive as we've seen. Think about the negative things she probably sees on her Twitter feed.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
That could take a toll on anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does.
It will take it if you pay attention to it. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, especially when it's not. It's one thing if it's about you. Like if somebody says something bad, I love it when I get like a mean YouTube comment about me.
Yeah.
I love it. Like it makes me laugh. I'll write something meaner about myself in return because it's a joke.
Right.
But if it's something about somebody you care about that can't defend themselves or is not there or is an innocent party to this, that makes it a lot worse.
Right. Because you hurt for them.
Exactly.
And you can't stick up. You can't. What are you going to do?
It's not
they
Bruce's
have to do their
fault.
own thing. Yeah.
It's not Bruce's fault. Kylie's on Twitter.
Right.
Whatever the message is, like that's not Bruce's fault.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and when you get it or whatever, it's got to be.
That is really tough. That's what she said in the interview. Is I'm really scared for the people that are going to say negative things.
Yeah. But on this one, I guess she did okay, and she calls him, and it's all hunky.
That was nice.
That
I did
was
like
really
the call.
cute.
Whether again, was that stage? Is it like okay, you're going to call him?
100%
Yeah.
Everything is staged.
In her interviews, she did seem just real. I feel like her eyes. She just seemed really sad. She was really monotone.
But she's always monotone. That's what kills me. She's always just. I'm Kylie,
And it's like kind of.
I'm gonna go ski.
I'm just doing. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just doing what she is at the moment.
Slightly more eloquent, but similar to French Montana. Think about it.
Big Sky Montana.
Think about it.
I'm gonna reflect.
It's like, and you can hear her a lot better than French Montana, but she's just like, I'm like an adrenaline junkie.
Do you think she's just not into this whole show and the filming and the talking?
I mean,
Could be
she's
that
just
too.
dealing with a lot.
Like she just walks out and is suddenly like, boom, back to
when you were 17,
everything.
we can act the way we act because this is what we do for a living.
Right.
When you were like 17 and you didn't know
forced to sit here.
Exactly.
Yeah, guys. Okay.
It's like
moving
a
on.
chore. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So it could be that, but at the same time, with not only the techniques that Chris is going to harp on her and all the lessons and whatever else they're getting, you'd also think that after a while she would understand, hey, this show is making us. I should get into it. Even
I
now.
think they don't even, when you're that young, you can't even connect that line. I
guess.
I think she's on the edge of right about when you're going to figure that out.
Because I feel like Kendall's gotten a lot better.
Yes.
So maybe we are looking at the same thing down the road with Kylie.
I think so.
I think that's most we've seen Kendall in the episode, though, in a long time.
Yeah, it is.
I love Kendall. She's one of my favorites because I think she is just feels
Kendall,
normal.
Is Kendall your favorite?
I think I'm going to pick a hard favorite on Kendall. No, I don't know much. I don't know much about, yeah, maybe. I'll commit. I'm a commit.
Yeah. Okay. I decommitted from Courtney at the end of the last spinoff, so I'm still a free agent for a favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I can be wooed by whomever.
Okay.
Bruce is always my favorite, but if we're talking about the girls, I'm a free agent.
Again, sad Rob isn't on the trip.
I know.
And then
Not expected that he would be, but just sad. Again, I don't know.
He's missing a lot of like memories and stuff aside from the show and what we would wonder and want to see. He's missing a lot of like actual things.
Did you guys see the text message? I thought that was nice. Chris posted on Instagram. It was a family chat message or iMessage, and everyone was sort of commenting and just saying hi to each other and joking around. And Rob was in there, and I think it was a little bit probably motivation of why she posted it, just to show things are still happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I did feel good about it in a way. I'm like, all right, at least he is still interacting, and he's not just doing whatever. Where can our imagination go?
And I don't pay attention to the tabloids for this stuff, but is the absence of bad news good news? Like we haven't heard anything about him, so you would stand to reason that hey, maybe he's sort of evened out and something good's going to happen or whatever. We don't even know what's going on.
I could at this point, it's his brand in a way on the show. What he's being seen as is what are we going to do for Rob? How is it going to? So I don't know. Once they start talking about him in a new way, I think then I'll take the hint. But I don't know now. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Chloe is kind of a baby about skiing. If you're going to do it, go do it, right?
It's scary. I would be
No,
the
I
same
agree
way.
with
Like
you.
I would
If you're
want
gonna
to
do it, do it. I don't care if I'm going to be rolling down that mountain. I'm on a mountain. I ain't going to stay at the bottom.
I was telling him while we were watching, I've been snowboarding once. I've never been skiing, and I want to do it, but when it's happening, I had never done it before. So when it's happening, I'm freaking scared, and I kept throwing myself down the second I would pick up like major speed. So, but I like doing that.
I said that's so hilarious.
I'm afraid of heights, but I like to do like I go with my friends up on rooftops of buildings and take pictures, and getting up there sometimes is
so you're
really,
a hipster, not a skier, is what you're trying to say.
No, it's just like sometimes like you have to be a baby about it, but you're doing it.
The only way to face a fear, the only way to conquer a fear
is doing it.
Is to face the fear.
Right, exactly.
Because it's never as bad as you think it's going to be once you do it, and
Sometimes
you go down,
it is.
and you're...
Yeah, I was going to say debatable. I'm scared of birds. I really am, and I will never go near a bird in my life.
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Okay, I always forget how big of a... No, I'm dead serious, but we're going to move on. I'm terrified.
Like
it's
a parrot.
It's a real... Yes, it's a real phobia.
No,
You could look it up.
actually, let's be sidetrack. Parrots are scary as shit. Like, parrots are horrifying. Parrots are like...
You could group them with pigeons, seagulls, baby birds, big
parrots,
birds, hummingbirds. I don't care.
Big parrots, specifically. Parrots are, like, smart, and parrots scare the crap out of me. I'm with you on that. I don't know about, like, pigeons,
We're going to move on. I'm going to make the decision. I'm getting on, Jeff. Let's move on.
All right. We're bringing up some kind of childhood neuroses.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just flying through these today. Let's talk about Scott now.
I really liked...
wow.
Yeah, we agree, both Nick and I, that we liked seeing Scott in this episode. You can elaborate
he's
why.
in a good place. He's happy. He's excited. He's smiling. He's joking. He's lifting the mood. I mean, there's nothing worse than someone on vacation that is bringing down a mood, wanting to not be there. It's like, you know what, then go. I'd rather you go and not bring everyone down. And when they flash back to him doing that, it looked like a total... Now, listen, I don't want to be a hopeless, optimistic here to say, because I don't think this will last, but it is great to see. And he said he was going to a wellness center and doing some things, too, which is great
That wasn't the Costa Rican thing, was it? Or was that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But even Courtney said, Scott's been different a little bit lately, so I'm hoping this is gonna stick around this time.
Yeah.
I'm a cynic.
Of course you are, Bobs.
We all regress to the mean.
Shocking.
No, what's the mean? We all regress to the mean. Like, I can, look at it for any one of us, our personality traits we'd like to work on and stuff, and Scott's is a little bit different than personality, but that is part of it, the personality traits.
Are you saying he's going to bounce back? Is that what you're saying?
I think everybody regresses to the mean, whatever the mean is.
I don't disagree with that, but I do think, depending on the amount of effort he puts in, he could just maintain this.
Maybe I'm cynical about his effort, but, I can put a lot of effort in on my own personality traits, but at the end of the day, I am aloof, introverted, and unsociable, and I'm always going to go back to that on some
But
level.
you would never know.
I am. And Scott's the same, and I'm not talking about the alcohol is a separate issue, but it does impact this. I just mean he can get testy, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But he's very, very, very moody, and we've talked about this.
What about the last scene we saw with him in the... Although, here's the thing.
He spit on Jonathan, which is actually a great
Listen.
thing.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Nasty weather report.
Oh, man.
I would have been
Sick
just
pleasure.
as pissed the off.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes total sense to me. I felt enraged when I saw that happen too. Like, I don't even know what happened.
You got family in your car.
Yeah.
You're worrying about them. Listen, I'm not going to say me, but there's a lot of close people around me that you get mad really quick. I don't care who, I don't see anything wrong.
Need to calm the hell down.
Listen.
What are you going to say? Go drive by?
No, I'm going to say peace be with you. Jesus loves you.
No.
Have a great drive.
God. No.
The one thing that pissed me off about that scene, about Scott's driving scene, it's an 18-wheeler. Not 16. It's 18. There are 18 wheels.
Did you say 16?
He said 16 like five times.
That got me too.
He said
I
16
kept
wheels
about
like
it
5
all the time. I just counting the wheels.
I
didn't
even noticed. Oh, yes!
It's guys, 18-wheeler is just a part of like American culture.
Yeah.
There are songs about 18-wheelers. Like he said 16-wheeler multiple times. That's what got me. And then I watch him spit with the window rolled up across the passenger
he rolled the window
seat.
down.
But he's across
from
the
the wide
passenger.
shot.
The spit didn't even make it to Jonathan.
You're
like
just
you're gonna
so
spit.
frustrated. I completely understand where he was in his head. Like, you just react.
I would like to say two things. At one shot we were getting, it was almost as if there was a helicopter following them. So did they have a helicopter following them the entire time as they're driving through?
I didn't notice.
Because when they pulled away just to show the team pull up to the car next to him, we got a helicopter shot.
Really?
Weird.
Oh, you're right.
Here's a question you have to ask yourself.
What?
They did the to be continued on the Scott thing. If the Scott road rage thing were an unplanned incident, what do you think would be the first shot in the to be continued? Scott road rage. Let's follow this story. It wasn't. It was London. It was Kendall and Chris. They never went back to the Scott road rage. So what does that tell you?
It was an organic thing?
Totally inorganic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
it was a
it was
producer. Totally.
I don't know, because you know what? Here's the thing. he had his little walkie-talkie, which they all have whenever they're like driving in caravans. The production gives him a walkie-talkie. He had that in his hand, like he must have been relaying something that was happening. We didn't get a clear shot of everything, like the other car, the other driver, so they weren't set up for it. There's a few things that I could say.
I would argue that they quote unquote weren't set up for it because they wanted to make it seem like they didn't have a clear shot.
Oh well, a good argument?
He was talking about go back and look on the tape. We'll go watch this later. He was talking about the 16-wheeler being behind him multiple times before it actually showed up in the rearview mirror.
Okay.
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean...
He implied that it was right on him. That's the thing. He was like, there's one behind me and you're braking and I'm like boxed in here. There wasn't anywhere back in the rearview mirror. Mm-hmm. I'm just... Nothing... I don't believe anything in this show.
It is tough to buy into because once you don't believe... it's like if you either buy into it all or none at all.
I don't know.
I think it was a real scene.
Me too. I think anything with cars is real.
I think you guys just have such road rage you want to...
I kind of do.
I don't, but I know a lot of people that do. I would say, peace be with you, whatever you said.
I'm the one that pulls up next to you after you do something stupid and give you a dirty look. And of course, you're not looking. You're looking away because you know you're in the wrong. But I'm still giving you that dirty look.
The only thing I would do if somebody did something dumb is I just hold my arm. I'd be like,
what's that? What's going on?
I always say I want to carry around a little whiteboard, and so when someone does something stupid, if I'm like at a stoplight, of course,
I was gonna say, that
write
seems
on
like
it and put it out the
something
window, like, you idiot.
That's what they do at AFTERBUZZ.
Yeah, they hold it up.
Yeah, they got a whiteboard, so if you say something stupid, they pull it up and like, you can't say it.
Idiot.
Retract.
Interesting. Okay, well, you guys have driving problems. I have a feeling I know what Sterling would say if she were here. Good vibes only.
Good vibes
She's very
only.
peaceful. Yeah, she'd be very... What did you think about... Wait, I want to... Before you... What did you think about the I feel like the for next episode, whatever, the montage was pretty intense.
I don't know. You take the biggest things and then you make them condensed.
And then it's suddenly an hour is so great.
Where does Kendall come off? Like going to London and getting mad at Chris for being at London? Maybe that's just like a teenage girl. Your teenagers are fucked up, man. So maybe that's just her being a teenager. So I don't read too much into any of that stuff, but I guess we'll see.
The car accident freaked me out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Because, I mean...
Wait. You about to say that's planned?
No, let's see it before we pass judgment on it.
Yeah, producers are going to skid the car out.
I'm very, very cynical about how skidded that car was.
Let's move on.
I'm just being serious. I'm cynical about all this stuff. The only person I can trust to give a real story now is Bruce, right? Bruce is the only one giving a real story. The rest of these things, you never know.
That therapist that he talks to, that family therapist, her phone must be off the hook once you put on the stage with them.
Listen, everything she said to Bruce, I could have said to him.
For sure. And she was right, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Did you notice one thing about her that actually piqued my curiosity?
What?
When Bruce was talking, say anything.
Yeah, so when I was watching Bruce,
she kept saying yep when he was talking. I feel like, and I'm no psychologist, but I feel like if you're paid to listen to people, when they're telling you things, shut the fuck up. Don't say yup. I don't care if it's active listening. I don't care if it's whatever. It seems like you're faking it and you're not in the conversation. So you're doing one of those where
that conversation seemed pretty...
For sure. But
your favorite thing, Bob.
Stage, totally.
So
who walks on the beach? Absolutely.
In shoes with shoes on. Come on now. It was definitely staged. So how much really can you really say besides yep? To make it look like you're actively listening.
Like, just shut your mouth. Like, listen to him. This man's telling you something important. He's paying you for it, apparently. Mm-hmm. Listen to this person and then have your say afterwards. If we were interrupting each other all the time on this show, nobody would be able to hear it. And if I'm talking right now and you guys are saying yep the whole time, it disrupts the show.
I do think I do that sometimes. I've listened back.
We all do it a little bit, but she was doing it like every 3 seconds. Like that.
I do think, though, think about the stage that she's on. She's supposed to be giving this trained, schooled advice to somebody on this stage. I'm going to call you Leah. Is that her name? I think it's Leah.
Lee, yeah.
That's nerve-wracking to give advice and have everyone watch what you're going to be saying back. Like, what advice are you giving as Bruce's therapist
But my
right
thing
now?
is, you're not going to really dive deep into whatever because you're not going to show that on the show. So it's going to be yup. You know what I mean?
I'm scared to say yup, but yeah.
Yup. I just and it's not the biggest deal in the world, but something about that just rubbed me the wrong way. Where I'm watching him talk and I'm listening to her going yup off camera. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, let him talk. That's just me though. I don't know.
He's cynical.
I'm what did I say? Aloof, introverted, and antisocial. Like that's me.
Wow.
Okay, let's take a chill pill.
Yep.
I think this was maybe the lightest content Kardashians episode we've had in a long time. We've had some bad ones this season. There wasn't anything going on today.
No. I mean, first of all, that house that they rented for the ski trip was pretty dope. I would love to go into that house and have that. But on the set, no. I mean, I think they did it on purpose.
But, like, I mean, we briefly talked about this in the beginning, but how awkward is that, the whole Malika and Jonathan thing? Like, why would you...
book a hotel for one version.
First of all, if you're going to book a big old house, like... I know you guys have money and stuff like that, but come on now. Like, if that's your BFF, like, who cares if you're sleeping in the bed or sharing a couch or whatever? It's, like, not a big deal.
I'm more shocked that Kim is the one actually making a reservation. She's the one that actually did it, or she just say, oh, I want to go here, figure it out.
I love how she said I was able to find this amazing house on such short notice. Okay, first off, you didn't, your assistant did. But second, dude, when you're dropping that kind of money...
Who's renting that?
They're going to find a place. Like,
right.
You're not hurting that bad, you know? It wasn't that difficult.
Place was, like, huge. I feel like there could have definitely been enough room for everyone. So it was like, that was just extra drama.
If you're going to play charades or whatever all night and you're in a family thing, sleep on the couch or share it. Like, it's like the real world.
Not
like,
a big deal.
Yeah, who cares?
Exactly.
You're there for 2 days.
I was going to say, how long were they there for? 2 days?
Who wants a penthouse anyways? You're in Montana. Montana!
No, I don't. My thing is, why would you want to get away? You're going away on vacation with everyone. Why not be with everybody?
You're in Montana. It's the cabin. Granted, a very nice cabin.
Maybe it was a penthouse cabin thing.
Yep.
I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. And it was really awkward, regardless if it was staged or not. It was really awkward when Khloe brings it up in the car with Kim. Like, that was just asking for drama. I'm actually surprised it didn't pop off, per se.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just kind of like, what? You know? But...
Do you think this episode was low drama? I mean, not as eventful because everyone was getting along and Scott was good and everyone was kind of getting...
And you needed a dud after Bruce, I think.
That's what it was, too.
Yeah. And you can't... There's only so many stories you can tell at once, even reality. So when they produce these things, I feel like they're like, okay, the Bruce bomb has dropped.
Let's give them a breather.
Yeah. We got to do something that's... If we're going to have a serious thing, look at it. If we're going to have a serious thing, let's take 2 non-central characters. Enter... Jonathan and Malika, If the worst had happened and they would have physically fought with each other, you could have removed them from the show, and it would have been
fun to watch.
God, that would have been something.
Who would you guys have bet on?
Malika for sure. Although I'll tell you what, Jonathan will fight dirty.
Still Malika.
He'd like poke an eye or something like that.
Yeah,
Malika would take him down.
You really think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan would be too afraid. He wouldn't even know what's about to happen. Malika would make one of those noises, him and he'd be done. What do you go ahead? Go for it. What do you? I was gonna say, it was switching it, but what do you think about the timing of her suddenly cleaning out her storage container? Come on! Right now, you're gonna go through all these old photos as everything is happening.
They needed a B story or a C story.
Yeah, that was it.
They needed a non-Montana.
I just want to say,
and Chris needed vibrators.
How awesome is that? She got a bunch of free vibrators. But you know what? They should, all that stuff that was in the storage, like all Bruce's old stuff, they should like auction that off for charity or something. Keep a few things, but I think that's just like a stockpile of really good things that they could do with that.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was just almost distasteful to even go do it right now.
Yeah.
It's like a little just driving the nail and like, we get it.
You have to remember as well, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but Bruce is moving into his new house, so maybe, it was time to give him his things in the storage. And also, if anyone has a storage unit, it's just kind of like a pain in the ass, and it's just something you pay every month. So if you have room to move it, get out of the storage.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't read too deep into it. I actually kind of totally forgot about her storyline, to be honest.
Yeah. But that was kind of cool, seeing all the old retro, like, shoes and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they should.
And the placemats that the kids made and all that kind of stuff.
And the picture with Rob and I
am so interested.
Papa
I wish
Kardashian.
Somebody would do a documentary. Hey, maybe I can.
What? Don't give them your idea.
Anybody. The Kardashians before they were famous, but a serious one, not a reality show, not we're gonna look back with some pictures. And I'm not talking about uncovering something crazy and making it a smear job. I just mean I would be fascinated at how the kids grew up, because they're such a public family now, to see the life before the life that we know and how much it's changed.
I think a few years right before they really popped, I think it would not. I don't think they would be so fond of having that out there. Because I think
maybe not.
You know, when Kim was hanging out with Paris Hilton, weren't they a thing and trying to hop? I think they were all a little bit hungry for it in those years. But whenever they show the flashbacks to old video footage, it is really interesting to see them as normal people.
Yeah. There's also.
Well, they were never normal.
No, they weren't. They weren't normal from the start. They were O.J. Simpson's friends. You know, for God's sakes, they weren't normal from the start. And then the Bruce Jenner, you know, marriage.
Are you guys excited about the show? That's
100%.
Going, yeah,
100%. And that's the other thing. Not only would early Kardashians be an interesting documentary or feature piece in a magazine, the other one is Bruce's story from Olympian to this. Not, you know, the Olympian part we know and the transgender part we now know and are learning, but the whole thing mixed together and where he came from, not by the E people. They did a good job with About Bruce, but an independent filmmaker, you know, the folks who did that Scientology documentary last month, people like that. Somebody come in and do a really interesting
deep and really get it,
and do something from a different vein than E's style. There's a window there for somebody to do something incredible and have Bruce tell a story again in a much different way to a much different audience. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but
I don't know. I think there's also a little bit, maybe this might be, I don't know. I think there could be a fine line between what people are going to say is like, okay, Bruce, you've told your story, compared to, okay, Bruce, now you're capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
In a not so positive, you know, in a not beneficial way.
I wish he had done this at a different network than E. I wish he had gone to Vice or HBO or CNN, or I wish he had gone somewhere else so we can get a different style. And the only thing I'm worried about the Bruce Jenner, the docuseries, is it's going to be too repetitive. And it won't be light Kardashians, whatever, but this segment length style type is going to be kind of repetitive.
Well, I think that's why he originally set up that first interview, was to validate it in a way other than just having it on E and be another. And I think Kim even said that. She was like, he needs her to come and interview because they need that validation to show like we're not, you know, BSing around here.
Yeah. I hope. I guess we'll see. Has that been given a date yet? I don't believe it has.
I don't believe it has either.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are looking forward to that one. Hopefully we'll be able to do that one on here. I think we will on AfterBuzz for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be something good. Let's do predictions. Why not?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yep. Okay, what the hell do we predict about this? I predict that Jonathan will appear on tons more Kardashian episodes, and I'll swear about it next year when he does it again.
I would concur that prediction.
He's not going anywhere. Let's be honest.
No, he's not going anywhere, because if he goes anywhere, then he loses whatever career he has.
The other thing about Jonathan, the rest of the Kardashians.
Somehow, this has gotten...
You'll love to hate him.
No, but here's the thing.
What?
Jonathan seems like one of those people who takes like fame very seriously, because he has like a security team and whatever stupid stuff. Remember that?
Well, isn't he? I thought. What does he do? He's a PR person?
I have no idea. I think he
used to do PR.
I think
because he had a reality show.
Yeah,
he did
about PR.
Yeah, on E. Wasn't it on E?
I think so.
Yeah, he had that reality show.
Similar to his career in the Kardashians. No.
But what I'm thinking about Jonathan, the other reason I like talking about him on this show, if we say, you know, we talk about Bruce, we talk about Kim, you know, they see so many media things, they have so many people talking about them, they have so many people talking about them in depth, they're not going to go out and comment and tweet and watch and react to it and stuff because they're doing a ton of things. Jonathan would. I guarantee he's seen us talk about him before.
You think?
He's the kind of guy to do that. He's the kind of dude who wants to know what everybody's saying about him. Yeah. I guarantee if anybody does, it's Jonathan.
He's checking his Google alerts on his name every second.
100%.
Hey, Jonathan.
He's watching this right now. Jonathan, come in. We'll blast you on.
Let's do it. I would love to sit and chat with Jonathan. Love it.
I'm done with this guy. Like, just show me something redeeming or be gone.
Woo. I mean, I don't even want to follow up after that. That seems like a pretty strong...
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Scott... My only prediction really is that I sadly do think Scott will bounce back into his old habits. I think because they... Where did I just see they were all going away for his birthday? Maybe Chris tweet somewhere.
It's next week. His birthday's, I believe, next Sunday.
Seems like it's not a.
Oh yeah.
So why do you bring someone to Vegas for their birthday when you know that environment isn't good for them? You're an idiot. Sorry, you're an idiot. That's it.
I don't disagree with you at all. The enabling that these people do for each other in every way is just astounding.
Please, yeah.
It's absolutely astounding, but they're not the only ones who enable each other like mad. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
No, not us. Never.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely not us.
No.
Frankie, any good predictions?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, good.
I don't know. You know, it's always hard to like predict because we already know, or
I predict they'll be fine after that skidding incident. On
I know,
the car.
but that looked scary.
Did look scary.
It did look
She just had enough time. Whatever she was saying. What did she say? She's like, it's
Does
not
everyone?
me.
Oh, I thought you said, does everyone have their seatbelt on? And it's like, well, if you can complete the sentence, then I don't think it's crucial.
It's like a flight, like an emergency thing in a flight, you know, or like the flight attendants are telling you what to do. That's exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
All right, good talk, guys.
Great talk. Miss Sterling, but.
All right, that's it. Nick, Frankie, and I will be back next week. Nick, where can they find you on Twitter, Instagram, whatever?
You guys can find me on everything at Nicholas Grava.
on everything.
Everything.
Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
And I'm on Twitter at Bobby DeMuro. That's it this week. We'll see you guys next Sunday for more Kardashians. Good night.
Yep. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.